Morning everyone. I think it's still morning, only just. Today I've had a really late start to the day getting out here in the garden, but I'll still get some stuff done today. So my plan for today is, most of those tomato plants come out the other week, so my plan is to get in on this most glorious beautiful day that I'll have here today is my peas and my snow peas. So it'll be the second time around this garden has had the peas in it. Last time they did really quite well. I had a few different varieties in there. I'm just trying to see here if I've still got some of the other variety that I put in there last time. Peas. What type of peas, Kim? What type of peas? Who knows? Right, so yeah, so last year I had in some of these dwarf pea blue bantam peas. They didn't do really well, so I'm not going to be planting them in again. What I'll probably do is sprout these and just use them as sprouts on our meals. I think the other, yeah, those are the blue bantams, so there's still 2.5 packets of those there. Same as this one, brand. Okay, I've just, yeah, so yeah, last year I planted in the peas, the telephone peas and the blue bantam peas. So the blue bantams did not do very well at all, so I won't be planting them in. Like I just said, I'm probably going to just sprout them and use them as sprouts. But the telephone peas did do extremely well here where I am in Western Australia, so that is what I'm going to continue using. So I have the DT Brown, sorry, yeah, the DT Brown is the main variety I use. I usually pick these up from places like Red Dot. I'm trying to think where else. Sometimes at the Spud Shed, the local Spud Shed, have them as well for $2 a packet. Now these are organic. It does not say that they are organic, but I did do some research into it and they are not GMO. So I am happy that they're not GMO. So even though it doesn't state on the packet that they're organic, they are still pretty much organic in my eyes. So there's a lot of different people's opinions, you know, if it doesn't say organic, it's not organic, you know, that sort of thing. So it's your decision to make it. But for me, I've looked into it, I've researched this particular brand. They're non-GMO and they are actually an organic seed. Most seeds are organic because there's no spray actually on the seed, especially something that's contained inside a pea pod, because you're not eating the pea pod, you're growing the pea. So, and then it's all about the way you grow it. So like I don't put any sprays of any sort. If there's a disease comes through, I pretty much just rip them out or take out the infected bits. So so these are what I'm really planting in today. The other variety of the telephone climbing pea I have, which are Country Value. I can't remember where I picked these from up. It's possibly at Bunnings, but I think these might have been at Bunnings. They're about $6 a packet, I think it is, from memory. So I may have picked these up because I couldn't get any of the ones from Red Dot for $2. So now this again, Country Value does not say on the front of the packet or on the back of the packet that they are organic. So obviously this company as well have not paid for the organic stamp that they can put onto it. So again, I looked into this particular variety as well, and I know that they're non-GMO, and that is my big thing, is to make sure that they're non-GMO. So I'm happy with using these two particular brands. Now DT Brown is one of my main brands that I use because I do get a really good germination rate from them. Even though they're a cheaper seed, you'll actually find that when you go into Bunnings, these are very similar in price in Bunnings as well as you can get them at the places like Spud Shed and Red Dot and stuff like that. They're exactly the same pea. I actually spoke to one of the ladies at Bunnings, and she said that the lady that comes and stocks them was extremely surprised in the difference in prices wherever it is that she stocks them, yet they are exactly the same variety. So I've got 7 packets of those. That should hopefully do my 4 rows that I want to do. So the other thing I'm planting in today is I'm going to do 2 rows of the snow peas. Again, I've got 1 packet of the Country Value, which is probably the same thing again. I probably wasn't able to get the DT Brown, but I do have 2.5 packets of that. So that should hopefully do my 2 rows that I want to do with snow peas. I may, if I have any left over, actually put some snow peas up in Carrot Top, up the top there, so that the kids can come and eat those, so that I can preserve the 2 rows that are down here. I'm going to tip peas out in a minute. The other thing I might do, I don't know what type of peas these are. I'm assuming they are telephone peas, but I could be wrong. Maybe I might just sprout these for sprouts as well. So it's a good idea. Obviously you need to tag your bag. But I obviously didn't write. I either didn't know what the variety was when I tagged it, or I didn't tag it not thinking that, you know, I'm using different varieties. So but yeah, the telephone pea and just the general standard snow pea are both 2 varieties that do really, really well here in my area. So I'll be planting those in today. Now, basically it states on here 5 centimeters between each seed and 45 centimeters between each row. Obviously my rows are wider than that, so 5 centimeters is probably about yay far, you know, hand space between each one for the snow peas. And the telephone peas, spacings is 7.5 centimeters between them. Last year I tried to get probably a little greedy and put in the full row. I tried to do 2 or 3 across this way and then a long line that way, sort of thing. And I think that it was a little too much for each plant because they were competing a little too much. Even though they're not a very big rooted vegetable, they still need their space to grow. So this year I'm going to do a single row, but probably space them out about 5 to 10 centimeters between them, depending on whether I can gauge how far it is or not, basically. I'm not that good with it. So maybe about the width of the packet apart, I would say. That's probably where I'm going to be at. I want to try and get as many as I can in without overcrowding the rows. So, alright, so the other thing I'm going to be doing before I get them in, there is some weeding that needs to be done, and then I need to... Bear, what are you doing? They're just strolling on through the melon patch. Anyway, so I've got a little bit of weeding to do with some of the rows. I've got some tomatoes. There's a few tomato bushes that are still in. I'll pick out and possibly remove whatever is finished in there now. And then put some compost and some dynamic lifter into the garden beds. I am putting the dynamic lifter on top of the soil, then putting the compost on. Last time I did the compost, then put the dynamic lifter on, and found that because the dynamic lifter is like a little long round pallet, it was rolling down the sides of the hills. So this time I'm going to use the compost to put on top. I won't be digging the compost into the ground, it'll be just putting it over the top, so that as it waters, all the nutrition will get washed down to the roots. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to get down there and we're going to get a start on it. So this is going to be probably the worst of the weeding. I don't know what weed this is. I'm assuming it's something that's come through with the hay because it's a reasonably new weed in my garden. So this one will take me the longest. Most of the rest of them have only got a little bit of weeds in it, so let's get into it, Weed seems to grow from runners. So I've never seen what this particular weed, but it seems to grow from runners from one plant to the next. I'll see if I can get one out without breaking it to show you. So I think it's going to be an ongoing battle keeping this out of this particular bed. Oops. So this one here is actually got several little bits coming off the top, several little plants. That one's not attached, but you can see how it seems to be growing off. It's probably easy to show you upside down, off the root in several different places. So this is going to be, I do not know what it is. I've never seen it in my yard. So that was the hard bit, done all the weeding and put in dynamic lifter and some composting. Now I only had enough compost to do a light layer on the three rows plus a little bit extra in the fourth one. Now when I get more compost in, I'll chop some more up onto them when they start to grow. So I'm going to put telephone peas in here, about 10 centimetres apart. I'll count them and let you know how many I'm going to get in one of these I think 8 metre long runs. So I have planted in this full row, this half row, this almost full row, and that comes to a total of 200 seeds. So it would have been close to 300 if this line. So on average between 80 and 90 seeds per line it's going to be. going to be an awful lot of peas going in, which is good, because I want to do 4 lines of peas and 2 lines of snow peas. So I've still got 1.5 rows left of the peas to put in. I do still need to do some more weeding up for the 2 snow pea ones here. Now I don't have any more compost to go in it. I can still just put dynamic lifter in there and get them started, so they're starting, and then just put some compost in when I get the compost sorted out. So alright guys, that's it for today. It's going to be a glorious sunset, I think, tonight, with the sun coming down behind me there. This retic will run for about 20 minutes. It should wet it through enough. I've had enough for today. I picked the last of the tomatoes, but it's looking good. I'm happy. Ended up being 2 packets of seeds that I put into the 3 rows, so about 200 seeds went in today. And maybe tomorrow, I'll see how I'm going, I'll come down and do the other 3 rows as well. I'd really like to get them all in now, but it does take a bit of time to do it. So yes, I'm going to take me and my little cart full of my little goodies and things, and we're going to head up to the house and start thinking about dinner. Threw some of the weeds over the fence, and somebody thinks that they're a fantastic idea. You're not talking to me today.